Hi, welcome to Simply Current Affairs. Before going into today's editorial discussion, let us finish the feedback for the question which I gave in the last video. So what is the question? Distinguish between regionalism and sub-regionalism. Critically assess the role of sub-regionalism in addressing the developmental disparities within India. Friends, if you are watching this video series for the first time, then please watch the introductory video given in the playlist to know how to participate in this answer writing program. And if you haven't watched last video, please watch it so that you will be in a position to easily understand what I am trying to convey with respect to this question. So here, how to structure the answer for this question. See, it's a very simple question. They have asked you to directly distinguish between regionalism and sub-regionalism. So you can start your introduction with what is regionalism and what is sub-regionalism, how it is different from the regionalism. That can be your introduction. Okay, many students in the introduction only they were putting subheading regionalism, sub-regionalism, right? First point, second point, comparing that. Please do not do that in the introduction part. See, when you go into the subject matter of the question, then it is okay. But here in the introduction, it can be in pointers. Just explain in 2 lines what is regionalism. In 2 lines, what is sub-regionalism, how it is different from regionalism. That is going to be your introduction. Then critically assess the role of sub-regionalism. So the question is specific to sub-regionalism in addressing developmental disparities within India. So you have to link this sub-regionalism with developmental disparities. Many students, they were simply writing the causes, right? So causes, the efforts taken by the government in addressing the sub-regionalism. That is not the way you have to answer, because causes and the efforts taken by the government, that is not asked in the question. So you have to link sub-regionalism with the developmental disparities and how this sub-regionalism movement helps in addressing the disparities. Okay, since the question is critically assess, so you are going to highlight the positives, how it has achieved in addressing the developmental disparities, and you should also highlight the consequence, negative consequence. Okay, then we can give a conclusion. You can give some way forward or you can give some direct conclusion. Okay, so this is how you have to structure the answer for this question. So I have taken the answer submitted by Annie Jency. So Annie Jency, nothing to comment much. Almost all the points, whatever we have discussed in the editorial, the notes which we have shared, from there you have taken the points, but you have made it more precise to accommodate within 150 words. Okay, so you have defined what is regionalism and you have given example. What is sub-regionalism? You gave example, that is very good. Then what are the positive implications? The role of regionalism, sub-regionalism in addressing developmental disparities. What are the positive implications? So equitable socio-economic development, bottom-up approach. Alright, it promotes competitive federalism. Negative implications, violence and conflict. We have given an example of Khalistan movement, slows the developmental process, affects the international diplomacy. So you have taken the example of Teesta River Water Sharing Treaty, India, Bangladesh. Okay, then right, sometimes this sub-regionalistic movement are more of identity politics and personal gain. Okay, so the focus can be diverted. So all these are the negative implications, and finally you have given a conclusion. So while sub-regionalism has the potential, but however, if it is unchecked, it's unchecked proliferation that can lead to fragmentation. Till this, your conclusion is good. But what is this last point? Hence, a data-driven development strategy is needed to address the issue. So if you have data, what will you do? See, we can accommodate the interest of small groups when their rights are deprived, no doubt. But we have enough, our constitution has enough provisions. The point is we have to implement it effectively. See, we need to become India is a fast developing economy, no doubt. Fastest growing country, no doubt. To become a developed economy, the growth should be inclusive. Every section of the society should feel inclusive. So our governance, our policies should be tuned, should be programmed in such a way that instead of top to bottom approach, instead of a centralized approach, we have to have a bottom-up approach. We should ensure a participative governance. In that case, the development will also be inclusive and the aspirations of even the small groups can be taken care. Okay, so we have to find a way within the institutions. However, when situation demands, we can try to accommodate the interest. Okay, so yes, your answer is good. Your answer is definitely, it is good, no doubt. So now let's go into today's discussion. So we have taken an editorial topic from the Hindu. The topic deals with the rights of transgenders, the challenges faced by the transgenders, the contemporary barriers, the challenges which prevents the inclusiveness, participation, growth of transgenders. So that is what we are going to discuss. So we have expanded the article in such a way that it becomes a direct useful content for our mains. See, first we will try to understand the definition of transgender. Transgenders are individuals whose gender identity is different from that of the sex assigned at the time of birth. This is what is the definition of transgenders. In the year 2014, Supreme Court Supreme Court in the NALSA judgment, National Legal Services Authority judgment, Supreme Court recognized transgenders as third gender. Supreme Court also affirmed the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights is for everyone, including transgenders, but specifically Supreme Court highlighted Article 14, right to equality, Article 15, prohibition against discrimination on the ground of sex, Article 19, freedom of movement, Article freedom of expression, Article 21, right? So right to life and personal liberty. So all these are there for transgenders as well. So they should not be left out in the society. They should not be discriminated. They should not be excluded. The Supreme Court asked the government to ensure environment where transgenders are able to participate in the society freely, peacefully. They are able to contribute to the society. They are able to participate. Such environment the government has to create. Supreme Court was explaining or instructing all these things to the government. In the year 2018, Supreme Court even widened the individual autonomy, the ambit of individual autonomy by even decriminalizing homosexuality. It scrapped section 377 of Indian Penal Code, which was criminalizing homosexual relationship. So that was scrapped in 2018. In 2019, government came with Transgenders Rights Act. So that Transgenders Right and Protection of Transgenders Rights Act, which was coming up with a lot of features. For example, a transgender can get an identification certificate by approaching district magistrate. The transgenders should not be sent out of the force, out of the house, out of the family. So usually when a family comes to know that their child is becoming a transgender, then forcefully in many cases the transgenders are sent outside. So this was made as an offense under the 2019 Act. And if at all if a transgender is coming out of the family for rehabilitation purpose, under the Act, rehabilitation centers were also created. At the same time, no institution should exclude transgenders from their participation. Educational institution or any job institutions should not exclude transgenders. If they exclude, that also becomes an offense. So like that, the 2019 Act was also guaranteeing a lot of rights to transgenders. Government even created a National Commission for Transgenders to advise the government on matter related to transgenders. A national portal for transgenders have also been created. For what purpose? For transgenders to obtain new certificate based on their new identity. A transgender, when he or she wants to change the name, change the location from all the government certificates, going to the government office might invite some uncomfortable circumstances for the transgenders. To avoid that, a portal has been created. Through online only, transgenders can get all those certificates. Right? So these are some efforts taken by the government to address the welfare of transgenders. But However, the reality is different. All these administrative works, initiatives are not mere paperworks. These provides the fundamental structure for the transgenders to ensure quality of life. But unfortunately, because of maybe lethargy or because of non-inclusiveness or because of some reason, these quotas, reservations, initiatives, support systems are not sincerely implemented. See, the barriers which are faced by transgenders are multidimensional in nature. To overcome these barriers, the government support becomes very, very important. All these support should not merely present in paper. These are not just informations for our mains answer. These informations or these initiatives has to be effectively implemented, right? But unfortunately, even today we have multidimensional barriers which they are facing every single day. For example, start with family only. As I mentioned already, when the family comes to know that their child is becoming a transgender, then at that point only the child is getting excluded from the family in most of the cases. Family is excluding them. So when they come to public spaces, for example, even roads or transport services, anything, bus, train, anywhere, they are being harassed, they are being humiliated, they are being targeted, they are being discriminated. How many institutions are including them? So in transgenders, when they are forcefully sent out of the house, when they want to get admitted into a hostel, do you think that process is going to be easier? If they want to enter into a school or enter into a college, do you think the admission is going to be easier? If they want to apply for some job, be private job, do you think that private institutions are going to accept them easily? So even the existing institutions, the society is not creating an accommodative, it is not creating an accommodative environment for the transgenders. This is going to put them under severe stress. Already they are socially discriminated, right? And medically also they are discriminated. There are medical studies, see all the medical anatomical studies, it is focusing, so there are a lot of research which has been done in medical field on understanding a male and a female. What about understanding transgenders? Their needs are different, their problems are different. Even medically they are being discriminated. They are not able to effectively participate and contribute in the progress of the nation. Even in the society totally is excluding their participation. See, these social exclusions practiced are very systemic in nature. These injustices are very systemic in nature, and these injustices grossly mirror what happened in the past for the minorities, for the women. See, what happened for women in those days, what happened for minorities even today, happening for the minorities. See, the discrimination against minorities, the discrimination against women, the same thing is mirrored for transgenders, is what the author in the article is saying. Their discrimination is no way different from the discrimination faced by women or the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, etc., or even worse. See, it is true, government has taken a lot of efforts. We even mentioned about 2019 Transgenders Rights Act. So that act says that if a transgender want to get the identification certificate, have to go and approach the district magistrate. But again, do you think this process is going to be easier? The 2014 NALSA Act was mentioning about self-identification. The person should identify their gender. The person will identify, not through some medical screening or the certificate. But 2019 Act is coming up with a procedure. That procedure is not going to become, it's not going to be very easy when the society is not so accommodative, or the society is not so welcoming. In that case, getting a certificate from a district magistrate which is highlighting their gender is not going to be easy task. And also the 2019 Act is not specifying anything about reservation for the transgenders, right? So government has taken efforts. There are some constitutional provisions, but however, we need to implement that effectively. We have to implement the spirit of those legislations effectively. So once you become district officials, executives, bureaucrats, you ensure that not just transgenders, no section, small section of the society should feel left out in the progress of the society. See, a society will be considered as a progressing society only when all the sections of the society are feeling inclusive, are feeling participative in the nation's growth. See, by 2047, our Prime Minister set a target that we have to become a developed country. See, development will happen when the growth is inclusive. Everyone should grow. Everyone should participate. Everyone should grow. Without that inclusive growth, you cannot achieve development. We can achieve growth. We can be the fastest growing economy. We can be number one economy also. But if India wants to become a developed economy, participation of every section of society is very, very important. Democracy is not just about the rule of majority. It is all about accommodating the interests of all the sections, including minorities. That includes gender minority, transgenders as well. Right friends, I hope we got clarity on the topic what we discussed today. So now I will give you a question based on our discussion. True inclusion of transgender community goes beyond constitutional guarantees and legislative measures. It necessitates measures to address multidimensional barriers. Elaborate. So in the introduction part, briefly highlight the constitutional guarantees, legislative measures, but that is not sufficient because today we have multidimensional barriers. So what we need is some reformative measures to address this problem and finally give conclusion. This is how we have to structure the answer. Right? So all our content will be available in the description. The today's analysis content, model answer, best answers of today, yesterday's question, everything will be available in the description of the YouTube video. And please submit your answer before 9 a.m. tomorrow to UPSC with gunasir@gmail.com in PDF format. So once after sending the email, in the comment section of this video, please give your name and just mention that you have sent the email. And also share your feedback about this initiative. That is what motivates me. So right friends, I will see you tomorrow with another interesting editorial topic. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.